You check your change, pull out an ordinary-looking 25-cent coin, and suddenly, you realize you're holding something that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. A simple coin from 1999, a coin millions of people spent without a second thought, could turn into a jackpot in your pocket. This is not a myth. This is the story of the 1999 Delaware State Quarter, the very first release of the legendary 50 State Quarters program. But more importantly, this coin has some of the most valuable mint errors ever discovered in modern U.S. coinage. One of these error Delaware quarters sold for $10,000 plus, another for over $6,000, and several others for thousands of dollars, depending on condition and error type. Yes, 25 cents turning into a paycheck. So buckle up, because this is not just a coin. This is a piece of American history, a collector's dream, and one of the most exciting modern coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Welcome to the world of the most rare 1999 Delaware State Quarter. The Delaware Quarter was released on January 4, 1999 as the very first coin of the 50 State Quarters program. This program ran from 1999 to 2008 and became one of the most popular coin issues in U.S. history. Delaware was chosen first because it was the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, December 7, 1787, known as the First State, a title proudly displayed on the coin. The reverse design features Caesar Rodney riding his horse in 1776, his famous overnight ride to cast the deciding vote for independence. Inscriptions: Caesar Rodney, the First State, E Pluribus Unum, 1999. This historical imagery made the coin iconic, but it was the unexpected minting mistakes that made it legendary. 1999 was a chaotic year for the mint. It was the first year of the new program. Production was rushed, and equipment was heavily used. As a result, more mistakes escaped the mint this year than almost any other year of the State Quarters program. The Delaware Quarter has several major error types, including some of the most expensive experimental planchet errors ever found. Collectors know one thing: if you see a 1999 Delaware Quarter, check it closely. Now we get to the heart of the treasure hunt. These are the error coins worth hundreds, thousands, even over $10,000 at auction. This is the king of valuable Delaware quarters. In 1999, the U.S. Mint experimented with alternative metal compositions for future coins. By accident, a few of these test planchets were used to strike Delaware quarters. A real experimental planchet quarter may look dull gray instead of shiny, lighter or heavier than a normal quarter. Different texture, strange surface patterns, weak or soft strike. $10,000 plus 4 certified high-grade examples. $5,000. $8,000 for mid-grades. Only a handful are known to exist, making this one of the rarest modern coin errors ever. A very popular minting error: the coin is struck off the center, causing part of the design to be missing. How far off center more equals higher value. Whether the date is still visible. Condition: 5-10% off center, $50, $10025, 50% off center, $200, $500. Major: 60 to 90% off center, $100, $3,000 plus. Collectors pay huge premiums for dramatic errors. A double-struck quarter is struck more than once, causing doubled images, overlapping designs, misaligned second strikes. Minor double strikes, $300, $600. Major double strikes, $1, $500, $3, $500. Very rare for Delaware quarters. The collar, which forms the rim, fails during striking, causing the coin to spread outward. Value: typical, $60, $150. High grade or dramatic, $200, $300. These are more common but still collectible. Lines across the coin, raised metal from die breaks. Cud errors: large blobs of metal. A major cud can raise value to $200. If the quarter was mistakenly struck on a 5-cent nickel planchet, 1-cent copper planchet, dime planchet, foreign coin planchet, then the value skyrockets. Prices range from $700 for minor planchet errors, $3,000, $7,000 for rare ones. Even normal coins have collectible value: 25 cents to $1, $3 to $10. Approximate $20 can bring $500 plus. Some sales have reached $2,000 plus. The coin itself is common, but ultra-high grades and full strikes are very valuable. Several reasons make rare Delaware quarters valuable. Collectors want the first of any series. Millions of collectors. High prices for scarce errors. These are among the rarest modern U.S. coin mistakes. 1999 had more mistakes than later years. Caesar Rodney's ride makes this coin visually and historically special. Here's how you can examine your coin like a professional. Normal quarter weight. 5.67 GIF. Your coin weighs more or less. Possible planchet error. Too dull, too shiny, wrong metal color. These are signals of experimental planchets. Off-center design, stretched rim, missing parts of design. Check. Washington's profile letters like Liberty, 1999, the first state. Double images equals double strike or double die. Could be die cracks or die breaks. 4 high-value errors. The best grading companies are. PCGS NGC certification increases value significantly. Here are real confirmed sales. Sold for $10,200 at auction. Another sold $4.08. $740. Several more in the $4,000 to $7,000 range sold $4.1. $320. Another sold $4.775. Sold $4.3. $0.55. One struck on a dime planchet sold $4.6. $325. These aren't guesses. These are official auction results. The 1999 Delaware quarter appeals too. This means the market stays strong. Even 25 years later, the 1999 Delaware state quarter isn't just the first coin of the state quarter series. It's one of the most valuable modern era coins ever made. You could be holding a $10,000 experimental planchet error, a $3,000 double strike, a $1,000 off-center strike, or other high-value mint mistakes. Even a normal high-grade example can bring hundreds of dollars. Always check your change. Always check your coin jars. You never know when a simple Delaware quarter could transform into life-changing treasure.
Stop everything for just 10 seconds, because the tiny copper coin you ignore for decades could be hiding big money. And I'm not talking about a few pounds or a novelty value. I'm talking about hundreds, thousands, and in rare situations, life-changing value. The coin is the 1971 British 2 new pence, and it's one of the most mysterious and misunderstood coins in modern UK history. Most people think it's just an old brown coin, something that sits in jars, old wallets, or dusty drawers. But collectors know the truth. This coin was born during one of the most chaotic moments in British monetary history. 1971 wasn't just another year. It was Decimal Day. Britain completely abandoned a money system that had existed for over 1,000 years. Pounds, shillings, and pence were wiped out overnight. Machines broke. Banks made mistakes. People panicked. And the Royal Mint was forced to produce millions of new coins at insane speed. And when you rush anything at that scale, errors are inevitable. That's when the hidden treasure started slipping through. Now here's the first shock. A normal worn 1971 2p coin is worth face value, but in uncirculated condition, graded by NGC or PCGS. Some examples have sold for £120 to £350. Same coin, same year, different condition. Suddenly, big money. Now reset your attention, because this next part is where it gets serious. The 1971 2p is one of the largest circulating coins ever issued in the UK. It's heavy, thick, and almost comically oversized. That alone makes it special, but size created a problem. The Royal Mint struggled with striking such a massive coin properly, and many early examples show weak strikes, off-center designs, double impressions, misaligned rims, and collectors pay huge premiums for these. An off-center 1971 2p with full date and Queen's head sold for £480. A double-struck example sold for over £900, and most people would never even notice these errors. Now here's where the mystery deepens. The inscription says new pence instead of 2 pence. That phrase became legendary, because years later, a mistake version was made. The famous 1983 new pence, worth up to £100,000. But the 1971 version is the original source of that legend, and collectors hunt the earliest strikes, known as first issue coins, which show sharper rims, deeper lettering, and richer copper tone. These early strikes can fetch £200 to £600 if pristine. Now reset again, because this one is shocking. There are 1971 2p coins struck on wrong metal planchets. Some are accidentally struck on 1p blanks, 4n blanks, experimental bronze alloys. These look thinner, lighter, or have unusual color. Sometimes golden, sometimes reddish, sometimes dull gray. One off-metal example sold for £750. Another reportedly sold privately for over £500. A coin meant to buy nothing now worth more than a holiday. Now here's the brutal part. Most people would spend it without thinking. That's how hidden treasure disappears forever. Now, let me teach you exactly how to identify a valuable 1971 2p. First, check the date. Must say 1971. There is no mint mark on UK coins, so don't look for letters, look at the color. Standard is deep copper brown. If it looks golden, silver, or pale, that's suspicious. Weigh it. Normal weight is 7.12 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, you may have an off-metal strike. Check the rim. It should be thick and well-formed. If the rim is missing, split, or uneven, that's an error. Look at the Queen's portrait. Sharp detail means early strike. Soft detail means later strike. Now here's another reset. Proof coins. In 1971, special proof versions were made for collector sets. They have mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp edges. Most people broke these sets and spent them. A genuine 1971 proof 2p in perfect condition can sell for £300 to £800. If graded PF 69 or PF 70, prices climb even higher. Now the most emotional part of the story. In 2019, a man in England found a bag of old coins left by his father. Inside was a pristine 1971 proof 2p. He almost donated it. Instead, he sent it for grading. It sold £4.620. Not millions, but for a coin he nearly threw away, that's big money. Now reset again. There are also die clash errors, where the queen's head and the feathers imprint faintly onto each other. These ghosts, like images, look supernatural. Collectors love them. Values range from £150 to £600, and they're incredibly hard to see unless you know what you're looking for. Now here's the psychological twist. Because this coin is common, people assume it's worthless. That's why it's one of the most dangerous coins to overlook. The real hidden treasure isn't in rare coins. It's in common coins with rare mistakes. And this one is full of them. Now imagine this. You check an old Jardinite. You find a thick brown coin from 1971. You weigh it. It's wrong. You send it for grading, and suddenly you're holding a piece of metal worth £1, 500, £2, 000, maybe more, not because you were lucky, because you paid attention. That's the real lesson. The world is full of life-changing value, hiding in plain sight, and most people walk past it every day. So here's your cliffhanger. Right now, somewhere in your house or your parent house or your grandparents' house, there could be a 1971 2p coin that's already paid for your next holiday, your next car, or your next dream, but you'll never know unless you check. So tonight, don't scroll, don't sleep, don't assume. Go find your coins. Because the next piece of big money might already belong to you. And if you want more hidden treasure, more shocking stories, and more life-changing value, subscribe now. Because the coin you ignore tomorrow might be the one you regret forever.